It's only a little sin. It won't hurt anyone. And I know God will forgive me. We've all thought that, haven't we? Small sins, big sins. If God is going to forgive me anyway, why does it matter? I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it does matter. Ready? Firstly, we need to remember that being a Christian is all about the relationship. Being a Christian is not about following a list of do's and don'ts. Being a Christian is all about living in a loving relationship with Jesus. And if we know that our sin hurts Jesus, why would we want to willingly do it? Imagine your relationship with your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or someone else close to you. Can you imagine constantly behaving in ways that you know would hurt them, but thinking to yourself, it doesn't matter, they'll forgive me? You just wouldn't do it, would you? That's no way to maintain a loving relationship. And the same is true with us and God too. If you continually think to yourself, oh, it's only a small sin and God will forgive me anyway, then I bet you think of being a Christian more as a code of living, following a list of do's and don'ts, than you think about it as a relationship of love with Jesus. Shift the way you think about being a Christian, and that will shift the way you think about doing sneaky sins. Secondly, trying to behave in a way that glorifies God is important because of the witness we're making to others. Whether you realise it or not, people are watching you, watching how you live to see if being a Christian makes any difference to your lives. They aren't watching you to catch you out. They're watching you to see if becoming a Christian is worth their while or not. Your life is a witness to God's power for change. And if people see you taking God lightly in how you behave, then they're not going to see a relationship with Jesus as being particularly important or worth pursuing. So how we behave impacts the spiritual journey of others. How we behave impacts how people see God. And as a Christian, you want others to follow Jesus too, right? Thirdly, deliberately sinning against God, knowing that He will forgive you, is a pretty cheap way to live, and it doesn't help you be the best version of yourself. Jesus says this in John's Gospel, chapter 10. I've come so that you may have life in all its fullness. That's not just eternal life after we die. That's about having fullness of life in the here and now, today. We know that following God's will for our lives is the best way to be happy and fulfilled. It's living out our destiny. So deliberately choosing to do something that goes against that is never going to bring us real happiness. You're better than that. You're a child of God. You have a happy, fulfilled life to live. So going for the sneaky sin option really isn't who you are. Of course, we all sin. We all fall short of God's glory. That's part of what it means to be a fallen human being. But that's different from having a mindset that deliberately chooses to sin on a regular basis with the justification that God is going to forgive us anyway. In Romans 6, Paul talks about this. Listen to these words. Should we continue to live in sin so that God's grace may increase? Certainly not. Our old being has been put to death with Christ on his cross, so that we should no longer be slaves to sin. It's pretty compelling, isn't it? Paul is saying, come on guys, you're better than that. As a Christian, you are a new person. Sin no longer controls you, so don't live as if it does. Yep, we all make mistakes and fall short, but we shouldn't be deliberately choosing to sin just because we know God will forgive us anyway. It's not who we are. It's not a good witness to others. It's not a good way to build a relationship with Jesus. I hope this has been helpful for you. If so, click the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye.